Hi everyone. I was told that the Crystal movie was going to be even worse than the History movie. Fortunately, I disagree. The History movie still holds the title of dumbest shit ever produced by a human, but not by much. The problem with the Crystal movie is that it's not so much stupid as it is nonsense. I mean, most of it's just word salad, so I really don't have a hell of a lot to work with.
Crystals, what are they?
That's a fair question. See, when a liquid is cooled down, eventually it becomes a solid. Now, if it's cooled down rapidly, the molecules basically just freeze in place. The solid becomes amorphous. It's basically just a snapshot of a liquid. If a liquid is cooled down slowly, on the other hand, the molecules will have time to arrange themselves in an energy-favorable pattern. Now, this pattern is going to be symmetrical in some sense, and it'll be the same throughout a large portion of the solid. Each such part is called a crystal. So a crystal is an ordered structure of solid matter. That's it.
Crystals definitely don't have the thinking capacity of humans, or even the biological reproductive systems of plants, but they are life.
Okay, the study of life would be biology, and that's not my area of expertise. Kitch, are crystals alive? Well, there you go. Look, crystals are not alive or life under any definition that makes any sense anyway. I mean, they're not even alive metaphorically, like a star. Stars are not actually alive. We just say they're alive because there's a process that goes on inside them that would distinguish a living one from a dead one. It's a metaphor. But no, crystals are not even alive metaphorically. There is no measurable process that goes on in a crystal that would distinguish a living one from a dead one.
We've discussed before that everything in the universe is a vibration, existing through many different frequencies at once.
What do you mean when you say that everything is repetitive motion around a point of equilibrium? And how can such motion occur at different rates simultaneously? I mean, it's like you're saying that a pendulum can swing once per second and twice per second at the same time. You're not making any sense.
Health is the natural state of any form in the universe. Considering the vibrational existence of reality, health comes when the frequencies of anything are in balance and harmony with itself.
Did you just say that a standing wave is a desirable medical condition? Isn't that kind of like saying that breakfast is your favorite mode of transportation?
When patterns of energy are disrupted, we experience a state which we know as disease.
Absolutely false according to everything we know about medicine. What you're talking about is vitalism, which is the belief that life is some sort of mysterious force that defies the laws of nature, that is found in living bodies but not in dead ones. According to vitalism, diseases are disruptions of this life force. Today, we understand that diseases have natural causes, typically bacterial or viral infection. Because of the mountains of evidence supporting things that contradict it, vitalism has been abandoned as pseudo-science.
Crystals and gemstones have a vibration that is free of resistant patterns.
Hang on, let's watch that again, but let's turn on the Woo to English translator.
Crystals and gemstones have a vibration that is free of resistant patterns.
There, much better. Let's keep going.
They are among some of the structures in the physical dimension which have the most balanced, cohesive, strong, and intentional frequencies.
See, if you know what the words mean, you realize that this is nonsense. It means nothing.
In the physical world, you pick up a crystal and feel it as something separate from you that you're just holding. But on higher frequencies, you're actually interacting with that stone energetically. This interaction then causes changes to your structure and psychology through your own energetic systems. It begins a process of rebalancing the energetic structure of your body, and in a sense, can help you heal.
As for crystals having healing powers, there has never been a peer-reviewed study showing that crystals have any significant effect whatsoever. But to make matters worse for those who believe this stuff, psychologist Christopher French performed 2 studies, one blind and one double-blind, that showed that crystals actually have no effect beyond placebo. He concluded that believers are more likely to notice an effect, which is consistent with it being a placebo effect, and even believers noticed the same effect with a fake crystal, indicating that it's all psychological.
Now, consciousness is of course the determining factor of if you are going to be accepting of these new frequencies coming into your being through crystals.
My point exactly, it's all psychological. Real medicine will work whether you believe in it or not, and in fact, you don't even have to be aware of it. You can actually administer real medicine to an unconscious person, and it will still work, because the effect is chemical, not psychological.
From a metaphysical perspective, we can transmit thoughts and emotions through crystals, but scientifically, does that make sense?
No, and what metaphysical perspective are you talking about? Do you even know what that means?
Would you believe it if I said that pretty much all of modern computing technology was based on the living element of crystals?
No, because crystal is neither living nor an element.
Nobel Prize winner Marcel Vogel discovered that crystals can be reprogrammed as silicon chips in a computer.
According to nobelprize.org, Marcel Vogel has never won a Nobel Prize. This is a lie perpetuated on New Age websites. Marcel Vogel, who had an honorary PhD, did work for IBM, and he did come up with a lot of cool stuff. He holds a number of patents, including one for the magnetic coating used on old hard drives, but he didn't invent the silicone chip. In New Age circles, he's mostly known for his work outside of mainstream science, which has to do with crystals, UFOs, and human-to-plant telepathy.
He discovered that when a person uses a computer, thoughts are transmitted into the computer by pressing on a keyboard.
Are you trying to make Marcel Vogel look like a genius or like an idiot? Of course my thoughts are transferred into a computer if I type the thing I just thought.
Just like us, crystals need sustenance. Well, they won't die if they don't get any, but who doesn't love to be fed?
So they don't need sustenance then. And as for liking something, well, crystals can't take in or process information about the surrounding world, so they can't develop any kind of emotional response to any kind of stimulus.
One way of charging your crystals are with bigger crystals.
Charged with what? And what mechanism is used to transfer whatever this is? And how is it measured objectively?
Just as we receive energy from the sun, crystals also receive and recharge under the intensified life force rays of the sun.
The sun does not emit life force. It emits electromagnetic waves, including visible light. But yeah, you're kind of right in the sense that, yes, you could argue that crystals are being charged with thermal energy when they're exposed to sunlight. They get warm.
If it's running on low, the frequencies that it emits will not be as strong as if it would be at a full charge.
Frequency of what? Charge of what? Ugh, enough with the word salad. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
One thing that I do quite often is actually make what I like to call spirit water.
I could definitely use some spirit water right about now. Although I don't think we mean the same thing.
Supposedly, gasoline mileage has been enhanced by placing a quartz crystal on the carburetor or on the fuel line. Increases of up to 50% have been reported.
Citation needed. How the hell would it do anything other than increase the mass of the car, thus marginally decreasing fuel efficiency? Now Jordan goes into a lecture about what different crystals do, and I'm gonna skip this because frankly, it's completely unsupported and it has no comedic value.
To discuss orgonite, first we must discuss the basics of orgon energy. Simply put, orgon is energy. In fact, it's another name for the multi-named etheric energy that is everywhere and embodies all things.
It's also absolute woo-woo that caught on among woo peddlers because Wilhelm Reich, the guy who came up with it, sold orgon accumulators as medical devices and went to jail as a result. What's an orgon accumulator? Well, it's a box.
He began constructing a device that was able to successfully heal his patients of various ailments, including various forms of cancer, by having them sit inside the box for periods of time.
Reich went to jail for defying the FDA's ruling that since orgon had not been shown to exist, this whole thing was to be considered quackery.
In 1986, scientists at the University of Marburg in Germany published the results of a blind study which showed that 30-minute orgon accumulator treatments caused a consistent psychological effect.
That's psychophysiological. But it might interest you to know that this wasn't some major study done by the university. It was a master's thesis written by 2 students at the university.
They published that their investigations displayed evidence for the assumption that the properties of orgon accumulators and its effect on humans factually exists.
And in what peer-reviewed journal can I... Oh, wait, that's right. It was a master's thesis.
Crystals move about when they want to. They change owners, jump out of your pocket, and flat out abandon you when the time is right for them.
No, crystals can't jump out of your pocket. If you drop it, you've lost it by mistake. But to extend the logic, if you sell a crystal, did the crystal decide that it wanted to be sold? And if I steal your crystal, you're not going to press charges, are you? Because it was the crystal's way of saying it wants to leave, right?
Putting large geodes for healing and love in hospitals could help many people recover incredibly quickly.
No, that would have no effect whatsoever.
Crystals around your home can influence or aid in your family life. Putting crystals in the classroom could help students both learn and grow more as individuals and communities. We could install large crystals of abundance and love into homeless shelters.
Yeah, because that's how economy works. It has nothing to do with the distribution of limited resources. Money comes from money-generating crystals.
I feel it's very important that we start investing in crystals and fast.
Of course you do. And here's why.
On the Spirit Science website, we've been partnering and working with many people who work with crystals.
Gotcha. On a completely unrelated note, recently 2 psychics, psychics, have actually been convicted of fraud in the United States. It turns out that law enforcement is actually targeting woo peddlers, at least it seems like it, and I certainly hope they do. And the courts don't seem to be buying the "I believe in magic" defense. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Just saying.
To wrap this video up, let's conclude with something really awesome.
Jordan, it would be impossible for you to not end with something awesome because the fact that the video ends is in itself awesome.
The 13 Mayan crystal skulls. What are they?
A hoax. All known crystal skulls have been shown to have been made no earlier than the 19th century.
I'm going to share what Drunvalo Melchizedek has shared.
No, please don't.
In a nutshell, 13,000 years ago during the fall of Atlantis, the Maya took their calendar and left Atlantis.
No, not this again. No, just no more Atlantis, no more Martians, no more 50-foot immortal Egyptians, and no more space Jews. Please! Look, crystals have no magic powers. Some have properties that make them useful components in technology, but if you buy a crystal to put on a shelf or wear around your neck, at best you'll get something that looks pretty. That's it. Now, if you want to spend your money on something simply because it looks pretty, that's your business. But be aware that that's all you're getting. And if you're being charged for something that does more than look pretty, then you're getting ripped off. The whole healing thing is something that I find absolutely disgusting. At best, it's just taking money away from a sick person. At worst, that sick person will do this crap instead of, rather than in addition to, seeking proper medical help. And they might actually die as a result. It just sickens me. These aren't harmless beliefs. Pseudoscience is something that I like to point to and laugh at, but this isn't a joke. Stupidity of this magnitude is actually dangerous. It kills people. Bye.